So, Microsoft has shown the list of all the voice and gesture commands for the new Xbox One system. Oh, this is absolute proof why the Xbox One is clearly superior to that lame, crappy PlayStation. I guess it's the fourth one. I mean, there's been so many different versions of that crappy PlayStation. You know, when it comes to systems, Xbox is always superior. It's always been the better system. You know, ever since the first Xbox came out, much stronger. You know, better specs, way better graphics, way more memory, everything, megahertz higher. It ran faster. The whole thing was just completely way better than the Sony system at the time. And then you got to the PS3 360 era. And that one, again, 360 was better. It was more reliable. It had less problems, less hardware failure. The 360 controller, way better than the PS3 controller. The 360 D-pad, way better. And the games, you know, the exclusives for the 360 were just completely more amazing, much more impressive. And now we get to the Xbox One. And this is the final comparison that you're going to see here on the Fanboy Shorts. After this, I doubt there's going to be any more left, because there's really not much else to talk about. This episode of Fanboy Shorts is going to be the final comparison between the Xbox Uno against that crappy piece of shizzle 4. And it's all because of the gesture command. I mean, check this out. Look at all the gestures. They already listed them all. And there's so much more that I even expected. You know, there's so much variety when it comes to the shortcuts. You know, this is so convenient for people. For those who don't understand, you know, you gotta have voice command. That's next gen. That's the definition of next gen. It's not the crappy PlayStation 4, which doesn't even have voice command. You know, it doesn't have any voice controls, no gesture commands, doesn't have any of that crap. Because it's a backwards, outdated system. You know, this isn't 2006, it's 2013. If you're a next-gen system and you don't have voice command, then you're a friggin' terrible pile of garbage. It's voice shortcuts. It makes navigating through the menu and the Xbox One itself just easier, smoother, more convenient. For example, if you want to wake up the Xbox One, turning it on, you say Xbox on. That's all you gotta say, Xbox on, and then boom, snap of a finger, just like that, it turns on. If you want to turn it off, Xbox, turn off, and then it shuts off. Alright, Xbox select. If you say that, it shows the voice commands on the screen, and everything in the green text can be spoken. You can also say stop listening, and this dismisses the voice command on the screen in that moment. Xbox help. It shows the help of the current app. You know, there's so many other ones. There's so many, and most of them start out with Xbox, so you gotta say Xbox. Xbox invite launches the party app in the snap mode. You can toggle the volume. Xbox volume up. Xbox volume down. You can even say Xbox mute, unmute. You can control the volume of the actual audio output. I mean, even Bing has one, Xbox Bing, and it starts up the Bing app, where you can search for games and music and movies and all that. I mean, does the PS4 have this? Heck no! That terrible crap Station 4 has none of these features, none of these commands. It's completely freaking useless, you know, if you want to use your voice. I mean, that's why we have larynxes That's why we got a voice box. That's why we got a tongue. So that we can actually use our own voice to control the frickin' system. That's next gen. That is current gen, really. It's the 8th gen. That's a real, true next gen system. I mean, look at these other ones. Xbox Skype. You could talk to Skype. Xbox Call. Xbox Hang Up. You can even hang up. Xbox Watch TV. You can even watch TV. Xbox Play, Stop, Pause, all of that. Play music. I mean, it's just pretty much clear. We know who the winner is. This is pretty obvious. This is the answer right here. And the Xbox One is the absolute winner, the definitive winner of the 8th gen console wars. I don't even have to elaborate on this anymore. I mean, this really should be the final comparison that we can make. I mean, voice commands, better exclusives, the greatest controller ever, with an even better D-pad. I mean, sleeker design, you know, better looking design. You know, this is the next gen system to get. The PS4 is just full of BS, really. It should be the BS4. It doesn't have any of those features. It's so lacking and just shallow and empty compared to the X Bizzle. There's really not much. I mean, you could even talk about it like it has to be in English, I think. Like you say Xbox On, it only works in English. The German, it's like Xbox and then if you're French, Xbox Démarrer, I think. Is that how you pronounce it? Démarrer. So there are language differences, so that's one thing of note to actually, you know, it's bilingual, multilingual, I guess. That's incredible. That's what makes the Xbox One so impressive. Again, you know, crap Station 4 does not have any of these features. It doesn't, you know, if you go up to a PlayStation 4 and you say, "Oh, Xbox One, turn on," that doesn't happen with a PS4. If you say, "Oh, Xbox One, Bing," PS4 is not going to go to Bing. Doesn't even do that. Pretty terrible, you know. I mean, yeah, PS4 is just backwards. You know, Sony is backwards. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they attempted this. You know, maybe 5 years from now they try to add it in as some sort of hackneyed addition, like a rip-off version. And I know some people are going to say, well, you know, Sony has some voice commands if you have a headphone type of thing, or a headset, I should say, or a camera. But it's so limited that it's not even comparable. It's very limited. It's very lightweight, you know, in comparison to the Xbox One. That it's basically irrelevant. It's not even worth it. Yeah, it's really cool. It's fun. It's the next step in gaming. I mean, you get to use your own voice to control the system the way it functions. There's no comparison anymore. Xbox One wins this particular 8th gen console wars. I really don't even need to talk about this anymore. That's it. Microsoft, they've done it again. And I mean, you know, they sold like 1 million units on the first day within like 24 hours. Sony can't even do that. Freaking PS4, they're terrible, you know. They only launch in a couple of territories. But Xbox One is available in way more countries, way more regions. That's why that makes them so popular. That's why the reason why is because they're so big. They're so famous across the world. But PS4 is just crappy, you know. It's like nobody even wants to buy it. I haven't met anybody that actually has a PS4. But, you know, pretty much everybody that I know, like every person that I've met, every gamer, you know, everybody has an Xbox One or is planning on getting it because it is, you know, the greatest system ever made. There's nothing, there's no comparison. There's no other systems that can even come close to the X-Bizzle. I mean, I guess maybe, you know, maybe 10 years from now, Xbox 2. Oh yeah, so the Xbox and the TWO, and so the next, the 9th generation, the Xbox 2, which that's probably going to be even way crazier. You know, you probably have holograms, or you can use your mind to actually like move through the navigate through the, you know, the menus, like if you just think it in your head. That would definitely be the greatest thing. And the thing with the Xbox 2 is like they should have kept the DRM policies. Like they should have kept the restrictions. Because that's what it was meant for. You know, like that they should have kept it. They shouldn't have taken it out. That would have been interesting to see. Like that should have been the future of the next gen. Like that's what they were planning on doing. Like if that was Microsoft's vision in the first place, to have DRM, to have to ban and get rid of used games, for example. You know, you're not allowed to play used games on it anymore. You're not allowed to sell your games anymore. Or if you try to play a used game, it's not going to work. That's the future of gaming. That should have been the future. That should have been like what everybody gets accustomed to. That should have been what the direction of the gaming industry should have gone, so that you can finally eliminate the horrible used gaming policies. Like, you know, used gaming has been killing the industry for years, for decades, really, because the companies don't see any profit from that. You know, they should have had region locking as well, so that, you know, you lock out the region so that you keep the money within that region, so that there is no, you don't have to order from another country, for example, and so the money goes to that particular country. Instead, you keep the money within that nation's economy. So Xbox One should definitely have had those restrictions. You know, I was one of those people that lobbied, and, you know, I wanted Xbox One to keep all those restrictions, but what are you gonna do? You know, got the idiot gamers